Why was Sean Puffy Combs arrested? Read the full indictment. We're not doing that. We're cutting right to the good stuff. Here we go. We are reading directly from the indictment. All right. United States District Court, Southern District of New York. This came out literally last night. We're going to skip down to section 12 and we are going to read parts A, B, and C. Okay. I skipped past it. Here we go. We've got means and methods of the enterprise. This is number 12. Among the means and methods by which Sean Combs, a.k.a. Puff Daddy, also known as P. Diddy, also known as Diddy, also known as PD, also known as Love. All right. Remember the Love one. All right. Associates of the Combs Enterprise that conducted and participated in the conduct of the affairs of the Combs Enterprise. Combs and other members and associates of the Combs Enterprise wielded the power and prestige of Combs' role at the Combs business to intimidate, threaten, and lure female victims into Combs' orbit, often under the pretense of a romantic relationship. Combs then used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sex acts with male commercial sex workers that Combs referred to as, among other things, freak-offs. Freak-offs. So he actually had a name for these events where he would have his romantic partners basically just shooting an extended porn for days on end, where at the end, they would oftentimes get IVs, and if they got smacked around a little, they'd have to hunker down in housing provided by Sean Puffy Combs. Freak-offs were elaborate and produced sex performances that Combs arranged, directed, masturbated during, and often electronically recorded. In arranging these freak-offs, Combs, with the assistance of members and associates of the Combs Enterprise, transported and caused to be transported commercial sex workers across state lines and internationally. Oof, yeah, that's not good. That is, yeah, that's not going to work. Freak-offs occurred regularly. Can you imagine? Can you imagine being the attorney putting this together and going, okay, I've got this word for it. It's called freak-offs. Are we running with the word freak? Yes, we are, because that describes it. Let's get your freak-off on. All right. How many people were invited to a freak-off that are now like, good Lord, sure glad I didn't get, especially females. How many people were like, man, glad I didn't, attend that one party. Remember that time Sean Puffy Combs said, hey, come on up to the house. It's going to be great. A lot of fun. We'll be here for days. Freak-offs occurred regularly, sometimes lasted multiple days, and often involved multiple commercial sex workers. And it doesn't sound like they were female. There were dudes brought in. Shenanigans, I say. Sex shenanigans, it sounds like. During freak-offs, and I'm literally reading this to you from a federal indictment. During freak-offs, Combs distributed a variety of controlled substances to victims, in part to keep the victims obedient and compliant. That's not good. You're drugging them up and then you're just taking them to Pound Town, or you're having them taken to Pound Town while you watch and, yeah. Unsavory. Sometimes, unbeknownst to the victims, Combs kept videos he filmed of victims engaging in sex acts with commercial sex workers. That's called an insurance policy. Yeah, not legal, but it's an insurance policy. Oh, yeah, you want to go to the police with that? All right. How about you sit down here and we'll watch this tape. Here's what you did. You want that getting out? You think your film career is going to go anywhere after that? No. Pornhub only for you, and that's a maybe. After freak-offs, Combs and the victims typically received IV fluids to recover from the physical exertion and drug use. All right, so the drugs wear them out, and what doesn't wear them out from the drug use? The sex did. Have you ever had physical encounter with a member of the opposite sex that lasted so long that you needed a fluid IV? Yeah, me neither. And you know what? Honestly, that doesn't sound that great, does it? No. I mean, days on end? I don't think so. How does this work? How does this go? Maybe that's why he's being indicted, right? Yeah, because it doesn't sound normal. Members and associates of the Combs enterprise, including high-ranking supervisors, security staff, household staff, personal assistants, and other Combs business employees, facilitated the freak-offs. So everybody's in on it. Everybody's in on it. How many other people will be brought down by this? Good question. They facilitated the freak-offs by, among other things, booking hotel rooms for the freak-offs. All right? Hey, P. Diddy's got a suite of hotel rooms up there. You want to go up there? Nah. I mean, that's not really my thing. Okay. All right. Not knowing fully what's going on there. Just a lot of shenanigans. Stocking the hotel rooms in advance for the required freak-off supplies. So now we've got a list of freak-off supplies, including controlled substances. Okay, so we got drugs. We got baby oil. We got lubricant. We got extra linens. I mean, how many towels did they go through? Days on end of just, debaucherous sex. That's crazy. And lighting. All right. I mean, you got to have the right lighting because P. Diddy's going to be filming it. So we've got cleaning the hotel rooms after the freak-offs to try to mitigate room damage. All right. So we're not even questioning if there is room damage. We're saying, yeah, there was room damage. These things got so out of control that there's room damage. I mean, you would think just a normal, shoot a little whatever, a little adult film. Would you be wrecking the room? Well, apparently the way Sean Puffy Combs did, yes. Arranging for travel for victims, commercial sex workers, and Combs to and from freak-offs. Got to get them there. I mean, yeah, it's all paid. It's all included. Resupplying Combs with requested supplies, delivering large sums of cash to Combs to pay the commercial sex workers, because they're commercial, because, they do this for a living, and scheduling the delivery of IV fluids. You got to have somebody that's a nurse in there. You just can't have anybody jamming a needle into somebody. Here, hold your bag. In or about March 2024, during searches of Combs' residence in Miami, Florida, and LA, California, law enforcement seized various freak-off supplies, including narcotics. And this is the kicker. And I think you'll hear about this a fair amount in the media. And more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. Does he take like a truck to Costco and yep, give me that KY. I need cases of this stuff. And don't forget the baby oil. We're going with baby oil. We're just, don't ask, don't tell. Combs subjected victims to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse to cause the victims to engage in freak-offs. So these were not necessarily voluntary, fun adult times. These were, and that's the essence of the lawsuit, right? People were physically, emotionally, and verbally abused to get them to join in on these things. The sex workers, okay, all right, yeah, I mean, but they kind of know what they're getting into. All right, we're going to another one of P. Diddy's his parties, his freak-offs. But their partners, yeah, it doesn't sound like they were, sounds like they were groomed. Yeah, right. Combs maintained control over his victims through, among other things, physical violence, promise of career opportunities, granting and threatening to withhold financial support, and by other coercive means, including tracking their whereabouts, dictating the victim's appearance, monitoring their medical records, and controlling their housing and supplying them with controlled substances. He just drugged them up, controlled every aspect of their lives, and then had them do these crazy parties, these freak-offs. I mean, what? That is, you've got some real Jeffrey Epstein stuff going on here, right? Yeah, and is there a connection there? It's gotta be. There's gotta be. During and separate from freak-offs, Combs, among other things, bit, kicked, threw objects at, dragged victims at times by their hair. These assaults often resulted in injuries that took days or weeks to heal. Man, Combs also threatened victims' careers and livelihoods, including if they resisted participating in freak-offs. Oof. Don't say no to P. Diddy. Not going to end up well for you. Victims believe they could not refuse Combs' demands without risking their financial or job security or without repercussions in the form of physical or emotional abuse. He's got a lot of control in the music industry, massive control in the music industry. I remember watching the one movie. It was kind of this satire that Joaquin Phoenix did. And he rolls up to P. Diddy's house and he's trying to be a rapper. Joaquin Phoenix, brother of deceased River Phoenix. I think he's a great actor. He's done a bunch of stuff. But Sean Puffy Combs he's like in his home. And Joaquin Phoenix is going to his home saying, "Hey, do you think I can cut it as a rapper?" And Sean is saying, "Yeah, no. But so many people have gone to an industry known producer like Sean Puffy Combs. Hey, I'll get you set up. I'll make you a star. But here's the thing. I need you to perform in a freak off. You're just going to have you're going to have some good, clean sexual fun. Yeah, this is what we're doing. Now I'm going to need you to take some drugs and it's going to, block out your calendar for a solid week or so. And, you might want to schedule some downtime for after, because after a week of doing the nasty, it's going to be a little rough." Combs also used the sensitive, embarrassing, and incriminating recordings that he made during freak-offs when people are whacked out of their mind on drugs. He used those as collateral to ensure the continued obedience and silence of the victims. Just absolutely. He had all the angles covered, right? He had all the angles covered. And enough folks had this happen to them, and they realized, oh, this is a massive concerted effort. Now, it can't just be Sean Puffy Combs involved in this. He is just the tip of the iceberg, is my total guess. I have no idea. But when they went and raided his homes and his kids were home, his adult kids, I think Sean Puffy Combs is my age. I'm 55. I think he's 52, 53, maybe 53, something like that. So he's got adult kids as well. Imagine, hey, need to talk to your dad. Oh, is it about the freak offs or is it about the lube or just crazy stuff, right? I mean, folks knew what was going on. You'll hear Cat Williams talk about, walking into the wrong hotel room during one of these parties that we now can refer to as freak offs. Cat Williams being a comedian, and he just basically tears into Sean Puffy Combs. And when I watched his routine on that, I was like, is he just saying that to get notoriety? Maybe there was a little something to Sean Puffy Combs. Maybe one time Sean Puffy Combs got, out of control doing something in a hotel room. And, Cat Williams walks by and goes, I don't want to be in there. Because apparently there was some male on male action, something like that. I don't know. But now we know that, this is the basis of it. The rest of the, it goes into kind of dialing in how all of those activities that we just saw basically get put into action and how it fits in with the entire indictment. The indictment is 14 pages long. And a lot of it is just breaking down the very minute detail, like I just read to you, including the word freak-offs. So after hearing that, after reading that, let's see how the media has put it. Why was Diddy arrested? Read the full indictment. All right. Well, we didn't need to read the full indictment, but we read some of it. And now you got to remember, innocent until proven guilty, right? Innocent until proven guilty. So this is the indictment. This hasn't been proven. This is what the government is saying happened. This is the government's case. Here's what Puffy's his attorney says. To his credit, Mr. Combs has been nothing but cooperative with this investigation, and he voluntarily relocated to New York last week in anticipation of these charges. Please reserve your judgment until you have all the facts, Combs' attorney Mark Agnifilo said in a statement. I think we've got enough facts there that if a fraction of what we just read is true, this happened to hundreds of people over years and years and years. I mean, this stuff has been going on since 06, 08, something like that. I mean, getting close to 20 years. How many people were involved in this voluntarily or involuntary, or were paid to have it happen, or whacked out of their mind on drugs? Hey, you want to get that rapping career going, that hip hop career going? Need you to participate in one of my my fun events. So please reserve your judgment. Okay, we did that. Sean, an unsealed federal indictment revealed criminal charges against Sean Diddy Combs on Tuesday, day after the hip-hop mogul was arrested. U.S. Attorney's Office accused Combs of racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking, among other counts. To describe what we just read as sex trafficking, I think is a wild understatement. It just is. I mean, that is some deviant behavior. I mean, but again, what did we expect? You know, did you think it was going to be hired a prostitute or two and they're going to do a charge like this against an industry titan like Sean Puffy Combs? No. So how many other people are involved? Yeah, that's what I want to know. Are there other indictments going to start coming down? Probably. Because how about the black book that Sean Puffy Combs has on people that participated in these videos? How about the video content that the government now has, allegedly? I don't know. How about those folks? What kind of deals are they cutting? Because a guy like Sean Puffy Combs doesn't just voluntarily move to New York, make himself relocate to New York from Florida or from LA, unless the government basically has him just pinned to the wall, right? And he's being nothing but cooperative. He doesn't have a choice. He is, if literally a fraction of this stuff is correct, it's game on. I mean, it's lights out for Sean Puffy Combs and all of the ridiculous nicknames that he goes by, the whatever you want to call it. So his attorney, Mark Agnifilo, said early Monday that they were disappointed with the decision to pursue what we believe is an unjust prosecution. Which part of the freak-offs is an unjust prosecution when you got people hopped up on drugs and then you basically force them into your sexcapades? Which portion of unjust is that? Yeah. Calling the entertainment star an imperfect person, but is not a criminal. Well, okay, imperfect. That means maybe sometimes you lie about stuff. Maybe you didn't treat your spouse well. Maybe you're mean to your kids. That's imperfect. But having 1,000 bottles of lube on hand with a whole bunch of drugs and then forcing people into acts that they don't necessarily want to do for days on end, videotaping that, and then blackmailing them with said video footage, that's more than an imperfect action by an imperfect person. That is straight up criminal. So, former music executive has repeatedly denied any wrongdoing. Of course, he has to. He's going to go in with a not guilty plea, and he's going to try and get off on whatever he can. Figure out what the government has as their charges against him, figure out a game plan, hire the best attorneys, and then see where it goes. But again, if any of this stuff, and with the information they have in the indictment, I mean, unless they're just making stuff up left and right, just the word freak off is enough to go, oh, hey now. Agents with Homeland Security Investigations carried out the arrest in Manhattan on Monday. Combs was arrested in the lobby of a hotel. Oh, how embarrassing. How embarrassing. Hey, let's go out to dinner. Oh, yeah, it doesn't look like my dinner date coming down the hallway here, coming in through the front door. Where are these guys? Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Here it's coming. It's coming. All right. Mr. Combs. To his credit, Mr. Combs has been nothing but cooperative with this investigation, and he voluntarily relocated. All right, these are the acts of an innocent man with nothing to hide, and he looks forward to clearing his name in court. All right. Okay. All right. I want to see that. There's a video. I'm not going to show it because it's fairly violent. that came out that he got blasted drunk. He's in a hotel lobby. He throws his girlfriend around pretty violently. I'm not going to show that because it's you can look that up. But there was a civil lawsuit, and he offered so much money apparently that the ex-girlfriend just took the offer and said, "Yeah, let's settle this." So that is, and there's multiple other civil lawsuits as well, claiming that he did a bunch of stuff like this, and he's been settling them, and it's in his best interest to get these things settled and get them done quickly, because any of that stuff then is basically off the books. And terms of those settlements will be that, it's like Fight Club. You don't talk about Fight Club. Rule number 1, don't talk about those other cases, whether attorneys can open those up or whatever. You know what I mean? Because it's like, we said those books were closed up. Not so much. We're going to need to see what you got going on there. So this is pretty wild, but it's not unexpected. What I found interesting is that the indictment really dialed in kind of exactly what was going on in G terms, right? Except when you got the lube, you got the drugs, they're calling it the substances. It's like you're hopping people up with Viagra and Coke and whatever, ecstasy, and then you're filming it. So how long will this take? How long will, you got the indictment? Will we have a trial? Probably not. I bet you P. Diddy cut some kind of deal because he's got the goods on other folks as well, right? Just have to see what the government says, because they got to stick him with something. What's that going to be? Is he going to get house arrest? Does he get an ankle bracelet? No filming for you, P. Diddy. Now, these are serious charges. These are crazy charges. He'll have to do some time. That would be my prediction. But what do I know? I'm a real estate guy from Seattle. All right. That's it for me on this one. Thanks so much for being here. We'll catch up with you in the next episode. Bye for now.